I lost my sight around 3 years ago now, whilst I was living in Spain. We had our own business in Spain, but as a result of 2 or 3 conditions brought on by small strokes, what they call TIAs, I think. I ended up with 3 conditions and sight loss. So I ended up coming back to England, and then about a year later, I got cancer. Applied for a guide dog, but like I say, at the time I got cancer, so, just shortly after that, whilst I was on the list, and it put me back a little bit. But anyway, to cut a long story short, I eventually managed to met Peter I think it was somewhere around last May time, nearly 9 months ago, something like that. And he was a brilliant match for me, so I went on a training course to Yarm. I spent just about around 10 days at Yarm training with Peter. Came home, had another couple of weeks training, and here we are now. But it's made a big difference to my life, because coming back from Spain after living there for 10 years, even though I'm from Leeds, a lot of it, and my eyesight had gone, a lot of it was very difficult. I came back to live in Meanwood, which was where I hadn't lived before, so I didn't know the area at all, so it was really difficult finding my way about. I eventually managed to find a little cafe, and whilst when I first came back from Spain, I could find the cafe with my white cane, because my eyesight was deteriorating all the time. After having cancer, it was really difficult. I couldn't find my way about at all. And then Peter came along, so I was able to go back to the cafe and meet my friends and start to have a bit more of a social life again. And here we are now. Peter, well, and I think many guide dogs are the same, but Peter, he doesn't get treats. His treats are attention and being made a fuss of. So anyone just has to do that when I'm out and about, and and he's immediately, his focus goes to that for the attention. So he's not always like that, but a couple of times. I was in Leeds a few weeks ago in the Merrion Centre, and he was taking me to a shop where I go regular, and he knows the route there. But I obviously, because I can't see, I heard the click of fingers, and he just bolted over to some, I don't know whether they'll get offering him a treat or what. But because of that, it totally disorientated me and him, because he suddenly didn't know where he was supposed to go after I'd checked him, and I lost my sense of direction momentarily. So it's quite difficult, and it's amazing the number of people that come up when he's on harness and say, "Oh, isn't he gorgeous? I know you're not supposed to touch them, stroke them," and there's a big yellow sign on the harness saying "Don't distract me," but people do that. I'm sort of quite laid back about it. It depends. If I'm that way out, I can get quite cross with people, but most of the time I've learned to accept that he's a really nice, handsome looking dog, and I understand that's why he's going to get the attention. I go every month for an eye injection, where I have to have an injection directly into my eye. And it's a mass of just corridors and passageways and everything. And after going twice, he now knows when he gets out of the taxi, the way through all these corridors and passageways, he knows exactly the way to take me to the reception at the eye clinic. He's amazing in that way. That direction, in that way. For remembering directions, I can go to the railway station with him and he knows the way from the railway station to the bus stop, which is quite complicated really, but he knows it. And you've only got to show him a couple of times and he's away. The only thing with Peter is, and he's only 2, so he still gets distracted now and again. Other dogs, he's a people person, is Peter. He does like people. I mean, other dogs will distract him, but after a couple of minutes of having said hello, he just wants to go back to being the people person that he is.